Good evening, everybody. I want to welcome you to my Facebook Live this evening, Creating Cards with Debbie. Let me pull my iPad up so I can watch the comments as you come on. I'm not seeing me. There I am. Well, hold on a second. There, my iPad is a little bit slow. Okay, be sure that you comment and say hello when you come on. I'll just give a moment or so for everybody to get here before we get started. We're getting a little bit of rain out there this evening, so we really need it, so I'm hoping that we get a little bit more. Like I said, be sure you comment when you come on. And be sure that you like and share the video if you're watching this on Facebook. If you're watching it later tomorrow on YouTube, be sure that you subscribe. Hit that subscribe button. And you'll be notified when I put up new videos then. Hi, Amber. Glad you're here. I've been missing you. And hi, Jackie. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and turn everybody around here. So if you get motion sickness, be sure you close your eyes and I'll let you know when I'm all set up. I can make you a little bit dizzy here probably. And I'm going to get my lighting going here. All right, waiting for my phone to catch up now. Let me see. I think I'm going to zoom just a little bit here. Trying to get positioned here so I have the best view for everybody. All right, maybe zoom it out just a tiny bit. Oops. I almost tipped over my iPod there for a minute. Got a little tipsy. Okay, I'm thinking that might be okay. Okay, like I said, my name is Debbie Foster. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and I'm located in Bismarck, Arkansas. I've been a demonstrator since January 2019. So, as you can see, my Facebook page is Creating Cards with Debbie. And you can shop my store at www.debbiefoster.stampinup.net. And if your order is under $150, this is the October host code, which is 2VGCVNNJ. And that's also in the description of this video. So if you miss it, you can look on that and find it. And here's my blog address. And then also Paper Pumpkin. We've got a brand new kit that's starting out. That started yesterday. And that's going to be our November kit. I always get confused which month it is that we're doing. And I'm going to try reading this upside down. Okay, it says Gifts Galore. And that's our Paper Pumpkin kit for November. It says, we all love to see piles of presents on Christmas morning. Make that your reality with the Gifts Galore Paper Pumpkin kit with bright festive colors, classic Christmas sentiments, a charming snowman, and more festive designs. You'll have everything you need to make eye-catching treat packages that are sure to spread Christmas cheer. There's plenty of joy to share with Gifts Galore. And the kit includes It'll come with everything that you need. And if it's your first time for signing up for it, you'll also receive an acrylic block to go along with it. And it comes with your stamp sets and all the adhesives that you may need. And it includes enough supplies to create 9 oversized treat boxes with coordinating food-proof, food-safe bags. Is an easy to make and even easier to enjoy Christmas project. Arrives in a special box, which it looks really cute. And it comes with an exclusive stamp set and a Flirty Flamingo Classic Stampin' Spot. So if you have any questions on that, be sure you either email me or private message me, and I'll be glad to help you with that. And also, Stampin' Up is always running a promotion for getting your starter kit, which is $99, and that includes shipping. So that what that $99 is that you pay $99, but you get to choose $125 worth of product. And plus, on top of that, you'll also get a free paper pumpkin kit. So if you have any questions on that, also be sure that you get with me. I'll be glad to help you with that. I'd love to have you on my team. Okay, so let's go ahead and we'll get started here. Our first one is going to be this little card here. It says hello. And it says, a little hello from me to you. And this uses our Expressions in Ink Designer Series paper, which is this. These are all the designs you get. One side has a gold foil, and then the other side is plain. And we're going to be using this one here for our project today. So let's go ahead and get our stamps out, our ink, all of our bits and pieces. And I tried to get everything done up ahead of time to kind of save some time. So we're going to start out with our card base, which is our heavy basic white cardstock. And that's just, it measures 4 1/4 inches by 11 inches. And then it's scored in the middle at 5.5 inches. Yeah, Jackie, it would. Thank you. And then I have another, this is a polished pink cardstock, which measures 4 inches by 5 1/4 inches, and that's going to be our mat that's going to go on top of our card base. And our next one is going to be our basic white, and that measures 3 3/4 inches by 5 inches, and I've embossed that using the Timeworn type 3D embossing folder. And it has words, but you can't really make out what all of it's saying. It's kind of a mix-up of words. So some you can, but not all of them. So we're going to glue that onto our pink mat here. Hope everybody's doing well. You've all had a good week, I hope, and hopefully you've had time to do a little bit of crafting. Alright, we're just going to stick that down on top of our polished pink. And I'm going to go ahead and glue this down to our card base, to our card front. Alright, and we're just going to center that on the front of our card. Leaving just a little border going around it. Okay, I can get that card out of the way. Okay, Now we're going to go ahead and start assembling the rest of our card, which is, where did I put it? Oh goodness. Oh. I still had it inside the envelope. I've already die cut the designer series paper, and for that I used the little square rectangle out of the stitched rectangles, and I've already die cut those out, and it leaves a little bit of stitching going all the way around. And then I've cut out the polished pink, which measures 1 3/8 inches by 1 7/8 inches, and we've got 5 of the pink, and I've got 4 of the designer series paper, and then I've got 1 that I die cut just the basic white, and we're going to be stamping the sentiment on this one. So let's go ahead and do that. We're going to be using the polished pink ink. And this is a photopolymer stamp, so we're going to be using our piercing mat to give us a little cushion. And this is just our piercing mat that I put copy paper over the top of to protect the surface of it. It gives us a little cushion to be able to stamp our stamps better, especially the photopolymer. Alright, there we have that. And I think I'm going to go ahead and do the inside of our card also to get that done with. I've got a piece of the polished pink, which is 4 inches by 5 1/4 inches, and then our basic white, which measures 3 3/4 inches by 5 inches. And I'm going to go ahead and stamp our sentiment on there before I glue it down, because in case I mess it up, I can turn it over and use the other side. We've got 2 sides to every paper. So it gives me a little leeway. If I mess up, I can just turn it over. And that's going to stamp that in the center of our basic white. Alright, I lucked out. Didn't have any smudges or nothing going on. Close up our ink pad. But I've got ink on my fingers. I don't want to transfer that to my white paper. Alright, so we're going to glue this down. And I've got a little bit of dropsies here. Alright. We're just going to leave a small border going around that. And we're going to bring our card over here. We're going to go ahead and attach that to the inside of our card. Okay. I've had this designer series paper for a while, but I kind of forgot about it, so I dug it out today and remembered, I hadn't even used that yet. So I need to do something with that, so I decided to do this today. Alright, we're going to take all these pieces and we're going to glue our designer series paper to the polished pink. So I'll put a little bit of glue on each one. And we're going to leave a small border going all around it. It's hard to believe that it's halfway through October already. Where does the time go? I'm not seeing any comments. I don't know. I guess nobody's talking. Or else my comments have disappeared. I'm not seeing them. That's what's funny about making a Facebook Live. Kind of like you got to talk to yourself kind of thing. I do that once in a while. Sometimes I even answer myself. Okay, we're going to put our hello on top of the polished pink. Okay, and now we're going to put all these up on dimensionals. I'm going to take this off of there. And I guess I really ought to be using my little ones. Yeah, we're going to go ahead and use the bigger ones. I've noticed with the little dimensionals that they're a little bit thinner than what the regular size are. So I kind of want the height on this one, so I'll stick with the normal size. And a few more here. So has anybody had any exciting things going on for them this week? You can tell I'm trying to get a conversation going here a little bit. Okay, let's take our rectangles and we're going to kind of arrange them how we want them. We're going to have 3 on the top and 1 on the bottom, and then the sentiment on the bottom. We'll put the hello at this corner and this one over here. And let's go ahead and start popping those off. Let me get my take your pick tool and I'm going to pop those dimensional backings off easier. I'm not seeing any comments here. Let me turn my iPad around. There we go. Let me see if I missed anything. Okay, good. I don't know what happened. I wasn't seeing them when it was laying that way. I had to turn my iPad around. I was feeling kind of lonely there for a while. Okay, so we're going to place these up at the top. Cookie decided to come in here and join me. And I'm not going to press down really hard on these because that way I can reposition those if I need to. Because I want to make sure I get them lined up right. Alright. This one in the center. Yeah. That one's giving me fits here. Keep my head out of the camera view here. I'm still not seeing my comments there. They keep disappearing on me for some reason. I don't know why. Okay, this one's going to go over here, and we're going to line up these edges. And then our hello. Maybe it's a Facebook thing, that they only stay on for so long and then they disappear on me again. Who knows? And the hello is going to go in the left-hand corner. And we're going to press those down. And I can get all my dimensionals backings off here. Alright. Oh, and I forgot to tell you that the stamp sets that I've used is the Biggest Wish, and I used the hello from that. And on the inside sentiment, we used a little hello from me to you. It comes from the Pansy patch. Alright, so I'm going to be using our pastel pearls. And we're going to be using the pink ones to go along with our polished pink. And we're going to use my take your pick tool. I'm going to use the putty end. And we're going to get 3 of those pink pearls. I'm going to place them right in between these 2. And one in the center. I've got something on there. What is that? A smudge of something. Okay, so here's our card. Hello. A little hello from me to you. Okay. So let's go ahead and set that aside. And we'll go on to our next card. Which is right here. This one I'm going to be using the hand-pinned designer series paper. And we're using this pattern right here. And here is the card. It says, always remember, these are the moments we'll look back on with joy. And this could be for any kind of occasion, so. And then I've also decorated the envelope flap, so we're going to do that too. Let me get our bits and pieces, directions, and everything out here. And the stamp set that we're using is the Peaceful Moments and Nature's Harvest. And I'm using the Tasteful labels and the Harvest dies. So, I know that was kind of fast, but I'll show you again when we're working on the card. So I'm going to get my bits and pieces out here. Got our directions out. We're going to be doing a little bit of coloring. Well, I have done the coloring already, so I may have to pass that and we can get through here faster. I'm starting out with the thick basic white cardstock, and it's just our basic size card, which is 5.5 inches by 8.5 inches, and then it's scored in the middle at 4 1/4 inches. And we're going to burnish that edge. I'll set that aside. And we've got our designer series paper, which is 4 1/8 inches by 5 3/8 inches. And we're going to go ahead and glue that to our card front. And we're going to leave have a small border going around it. It's one thing good about the liquid adhesive, you got time to wiggle it into place if it's not exactly where you want it at first. Alright, that. And then I've got some cardstock, which is the mint macaron, and that measures 2 3/4 inches by 4 1/4 inches, and that's going to be our first mat. And then I've got our basic white, which measures 2 1/2 inches by 4 inches. So I'm going to go ahead and glue those together, and then we'll put that all up on dimensionals. Dimensionals back over here, and I'm going to put one in each corner, and then I'm going to put one in the center to help support it. And I'm going to go ahead and place that down on our card front. Okay, and we're just going to put that in the middle, leaving a border going all the way around it. Make sure I've got it straight. I need to scooch it up just a little bit. Okay. And then I've got some scrap paper here, and we're going to stamp our flower onto that. And I'm just using the black Memento ink. And when we have a larger stamp, I like to turn it upside down and then put the ink pad onto that. That way I can see if I'm getting a good coverage or not. Alright, and we're just going to stamp that on there. Cover up our ink pad, because accidents do happen when I have an open ink pad. Alright. It seems like I'm running out of room here. I'm kind of crowding myself. Let me push some things aside here. Okay, I'm not going to do the whole flower. I'm just going to color the bud part of it and then the stems. So I'm going to use, this is our dark Just Shade. So I'm using the dark and the light Just Shade. And I'm going to place a paper underneath me to protect my work surface a little bit, in case it bleeds through. But I'm going to start with the dark Just Shade, and I'm going to outline our leaves here a little bit. Nothing fancy. It's one thing with the blends, it can make you look like a real artist without even trying, it seems like. So it's real forgiving. I'm using the dark Just Shade to kind of give it some shading, dark shading. And then we'll come back in with the light Just Shade and blend it all in. Alright. And with your blends, you want to make sure you snap it shut really good, because they will dry out on you. They're alcohol based. So the ink can dry up on you if you don't have the cap on tight. I had to learn that the hard way. I had a dimensional on top of there I had to get rid of. I don't think I like this getting dark earlier. seen on Facebook that they're saying, I think it was Wyoming, had snow. Gosh, that seems so early. We're still pretty warm here. Which I'm not complaining. We're hoping to go camping here in the near future, so probably be our last time for this season. Oh, Jackie, Arizona got some too? Wow. Arizona? That's crazy. So now I'm using the dark cinnamon cider, and I'm just doing the buds of my flower. I guess those are buds. I'm not sure what they're called. Huh. And then I'm going to come back in with the light cinnamon cider, and I'm going to blend that all in. And I'm not going to color the petals. We're going to come in with our Wink of Stella, and we're going to do that with the petals. So this over there out of the way. So we're going to die cut that using the die that's in the Harvest dies, which is this die right here. And we'll die cut that out. Okay, but I've already done that, so we're just going to set that aside. Oh, I'm sorry, Jackie, that they got you working every weekend. So it's die cut. We already die cut this out, so we're going to place that up on. Well, we're not going to put this on dimensionals. We're going to just glue this directly down. So I'm going to just put our liquid glue on the back side. And you don't have to glue the whole thing. I'm just getting the larger areas, just enough to attach it to the card. So you don't have to cover every single spot. And we're going to place that kind of off to the side of our front of our card here. And then I'm going to come back in here with some Wink of Stella, and we're going to Stella this thing up. And I'm just going to do the petals. It just gives it a little bit of bling, a little shine. Okay. Just like so. And we're not finished yet. We've got more to do yet. Okay, I guess we are going to do some die cutting here. I've got the stamp. It says always remember. And that comes from... Oh, it's not out there. Where did I get that one from? Oh, okay. It comes from the Peaceful Moments. Always remember. And we're going to stamp that with our black Memento ink. And we're going to stamp that right onto our mint macaron cardstock. I think I had too much ink on there. And we're just going to stamp that right there. And I don't like how that looks. Okay, and then we're going to get our die, which comes from the Tasteful labels. And I didn't put it back in here where Where did I put it? Oh, it's hiding right here. It's right here. And we're going to have to go grab our baby boss. I didn't put her over here yet. This is our baby boss, our mini embossing machine. And we got plate 1 and 2 plate 2s. One's on the bottom, one goes on the top. And I don't know if I like that one. It didn't stamp very well, but we're gonna go with it. We'll make it work. And we're going to center our die on top of that. And I'm going to use some washi tape just to hold it in place so it doesn't slip around on me. And I'm hoping this doesn't jiggle the camera too much. Oh, hi Zoe. How are you doing? Glad you came on. Hi. Glad to have you. How are the babies doing? Okay, so here's our sentiment that I've cut out with that die. And I'm going to add some adhesive to the back of that. And we're going to glue that down. And I wish that would have stamped a little bit better, but that's okay. We're going to leave it as is. And I'm just going to put that at the bottom corner, right-hand corner, just over the stems of the flower. And I've already tied a bow using our linen thread. I'm going to use a mini glue dot, which these come out of the paper pumpkins. And I kind of like them because they're a little bit smaller than our normal size mini glue dots are. And besides, I figure I might as well use them up instead of wasting them. They work just as well as the regular size. And we're going to attach our bow right there. And then I've got some cute little bumblebees. I know some people don't like these. I'm not going to say any names. But these are cute ones. And this is the Bumblebee Trinkets. They're gold bumblebees. So I'm going to take one of our glue dots and I'm going to attach our bumblebee up here in the corner. I'm just going to take one of those and put that out of the way. Clear my area a little bit here. So here's the front of our card. And then on the inside, we're just going to stamp that using our black Memento ink. And that's going to be the sentiment that says, these are the moments we'll look back on with joy. And we're just going to stamp that right in the center. I think my ink pad could be inked up a little bit more. I'm going to fix that. We're going to take another, I usually cut out some extra basic white cardstock, and this is usually the inside measurements of our cards, so it's 4 inches by 5 1/4 inches. And I just have a bunch of those cut to keep on hand when I got some goof ups like this that I need to fix. So we're going to fix this. I'm not really happy with the way that's stamped. So I think it's my ink pad is kind of giving me fits here. So let's try stamping that again. Yeah, that looks a little bit better. And then I'm going to stamp another flower using our macaron ink pad, which is, where did I put it? I put it away. I wasn't supposed to put it away. I was supposed to put it in my things today. And there it is. And I'm going to use the little flower to stamp down in the corner, right-hand corner. It just gives it a little bit of something, something. Alright. And I'm hoping Facebook isn't messing up on me tonight. My iPad, it seems like it's jumping on and off. It says video interrupted. I'm hoping it's only on my side. Is anybody else's doing that? Okay. It's trying to zoom in and out. Well, that's weird. Wonder why it's doing that. We'll blame it on Facebook, I guess. Who knows? Okay. So here we have the inside of our card, and we just glued that inside of our cards. And it's probably a good thing because it gives the card a little bit more extra support than just the one layer. So it might have been a good thing that I messed up. So here's our card. Always remember, these are the moments we'll look back on with joy. Okay, so we've got that one done. So I want to take our envelope, and I've cut a piece of the Designer Series paper, which measures 2.5 inches by 6 inches. And we're just going to glue that onto our flap of our envelope. It makes our envelope pretty. So we'll just put a little glue on there, and then we'll come back in and we'll trim it down. Yes, it is, Jackie. That is true. Okay, I'm going to get my old scissors here so I don't get glue on my new ones, my good ones. I'm just going to trim this all up, trim it off of the envelope flap. Now we're just going to follow the flap around. Okay, there's all my scraps there. Let's throw them away, throw the trash away. And I added a little bit more character to our envelope. I want to stamp the flowers too on the left hand side. And I'm just using the Memento black ink. And I'm not going to color these at all. I'm just going to leave it with just the black. And put that flap out there. And that still leaves you room for your address label there at the top. Okay, like this. So here's our card, and here's our envelope. Alright, so so let's go on to our next card, which is, with this one I cased out of our annual catalog, which means copy another's collection or another's card, but this is copied out of the catalog, and that's on page, oh gosh, I had it wrote down here. Yeah, page 80 of our annual catalog. So I'm going to get that out and show you. And it's this one here that we're casing, which is the Plentiful plants, and then the designer series paper. Okay. Get all of our measurements and everything all out here. So we're mostly using the designer series paper instead of doing a whole lot of stamping. So I'm using this one here, and let's see, and then this one's to cut out the where we're going to stamp the sentiment at, and then we're using this for the envelope flap. But these are the Plentiful Plants stamp set, and it comes with the dies also. You can get the dies at a 10% discount, or a 10% savings, not discount. I understand. I can't get my comments to stay up there. Everything was falling here for a minute. Okay, so I'm going to stick that aside. And we're also using the basic borders dies, and the embossing folder is the Timber 3D embossing folder. And I've done a lot of this ahead of time, so you won't have to sit here and watch me do all this cutting and everything. So let's go ahead and get all of our bits and pieces out here and get started. Here's our envelope. And the card base is going to be our Evening Evergreen cardstock. And this is our basic card size, which measures 5.5 inches by 8.5 inches. And then it's scored in the middle at 4 1/4 inches. And I'm going to go ahead and burnish that. And did I show you the card yet? I didn't show you the card, did I? What did I do with the card? There it is. So here's the card. And then here's the envelope. I did the flap. We're going to do that also. Alright. So we're going to start out with our card base. And I had embossed already a sheet of Evening Evergreen, which is 5 1/4 inches long, but it's 3 3/4 inch wide. And then I cut those in little slits. Some are a 1/2 inch and some are at 7/8 inches. So we're just going to alternate these onto our card front. And I'm going to start at the top here and work my way down. With using the same color, it kind of blends in with each other, so I'm not sure if it's going to show up on the camera that well. But we'll see what happens here. So we're going to start, and we're going to put our first layer at the top, and then the next layer we're going to do is going to be the bottom layer. And then I can space them in between. So those will both be start at the left hand side. And then the other layers are going to alternate, taking turns. Some on the right and some on the left. Just leave a small space in between each one. Be sure that you like and share the video with your friends, and even if they're not card makers, they may be scrapbook makers, and Stampin' Up! Has a lot of supplies that can be used for scrapbooking also. So just because they don't make cards doesn't mean they don't need paper products. Alright, so there we have 5 layers of our strips. I don't know if it's going to pick it up very well. And those are all embossed. Yeah, I guess it's showing it okay. Okay, good. And then I have taken our designer series paper and I've already fussy cut the flower pot already out. So those are going to be put up on dimensionals. So we'll start with a big flower pot, but we're not going to attach any of these down yet until we get everything placed. And I'm going to get some small dimensionals to put on the other sections of our leaves. Well, popping off the backings here before I want to. And, oops. Oops, sorry about that. We got Cookie on the rampage here. It must be ice cream time. Did you know that there is an ice cream for dogs? She has her very own ice cream. It's, I think it's called Paw Prints ice cream, but it's peanut butter ice cream, and she loves it. And I'm sure it's much more healthier for her than what our ice cream would be. So when Daddy has his ice cream, she has to have hers every night. Okay. So we're going to set those aside for just a moment. And we're going to do our sentiment. And this is another side of the designer series paper, which has this on the back, and then it has just the plain marbling. But I've die cut that using our basic borders, and I used this one right here, and I'll show you exactly how I did that. I'm hoping it shows up on the camera good. But this edge I used the pointed edge, and then for the straight edge I just turned it to the straight side and ran it through, so it gives you the little bitty dots where it cuts out. And we're going to take our sentiment and we're going to stamp that using our Evening Evergreen ink. And we'll stamp our sentiment on there. I always like to stamp it onto a scratch paper to make sure that it's stamping really well. And I've lost my, there it is, my piercing mat. And then we're going to stamp that. Try to get it straight. Looks good to me. And as long as we're at it, we might as well do the inside also. Do our stamping on the inside. Alright. And I've got a basic white here, which is 4 inches by 5 1/4 inches. And we're going to stamp our sentiment on the inside, which says, "You were there and I am very grateful." And we're just going to stamp that up in the upper center. And we're going to close up our ink pad. And we're going to come back in with our little flower pot, which is out of that same stamp set. And we're using the cinnamon cider ink. And when I was die cutting a while back, I had cut out extra leaves and such. So I don't throw those away. I keep them in my stamp set so I can pull them out when I might need them. And this is one of those times that I'm going to use one of those. So I'm going to center my flower pot at the bottom right-hand corner and close up my ink pad. And I'm going to snip off just the bottom edge here so I can butt that up against my flower pot. So we're going to stick that flush with the stamping part of it. And we're going to put some glue on the back of this. And place that on the flower pot, centered. So it'll look like this. So we're going to go ahead and glue that into the inside of our card. We're doing good on time tonight. I think it paid to get everything ready ahead of time. It saves some time. So there's the inside. And now let's go ahead and finish up our outside of our card. And we're going to take this little die cut stamped image and we're going to place that in our upper left hand corner. And I'm just going to match it up to the edge of our top of our card. And now we can take our dimensionals off of our flower pots. Yeah, there we go. I'm still not seeing comments. Okay, maybe because nobody's saying anything, might be. Okay, so this is going to go to the right side of our card front. And these were all die cut out of our designer series paper. I just fussy cut those because there's no dies that match up with those at all, so we had to fussy cut those. But it wasn't that hard. It didn't take me very long, but I did them ahead of time to save a little time tonight. So you wouldn't have to sit there and watch me cutting paper. And then this one's going to go beside that other flower pot. And I've got a piece of linen thread that I've tied a bow. And we're going to get our little glue dots and we're going to place one of those down on our flower pot. You could put it on either one. You could either put it on this one or this one, but I'm going to put it on the larger flower pot. I think in the picture it showed that they had placed the bow on top of the smaller flower pot. So it doesn't matter, whichever you prefer. Alright, and now we need to add a little bit of bling to this. And where did I put my bling? There we are. These are the Genial Gems, and we're going to be placing some of those on here. I'm going to use the putty end of our Take Your Pick tool, and I'm going to use the beige and the green. We're just going to kind of alternate. I've got the medium and the small. of each one. And maybe a green one there. And I think I'm going to take a green and the beige, larger ones, and place in this corner. Okay, so here we have our card. My cat's doing something over there making noise. I don't know what he's doing. Mr. Oliver. Okay, so here we have a little note with the biggest thanks. You were there and I am very grateful. Alright, and then I did the envelope flap using that designer series paper and covered our flap of our envelope. So let me bring our cards out here to show. And see if I can clean up some of my mess, my paper here. Alright, making sure I'm getting you all in view here. Maybe. I'm just waiting on my iPad to catch up so I can see if you can see everything okay. Yeah, that looks good. And I'm still... Yeah, Jackie, those plants don't need water. You can't kill these, huh? Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and close for this evening. I'll be back next Tuesday. It'll be October 19th at 6 p.m. Central Time. So I hope you'll be able to join me. I'm not exactly sure what I'll be doing yet, but it'll be 3 cards. Maybe Halloween again. I'm not sure yet, so I have to think about what I want to do. But I'm glad you were able to join me this evening. You all have a good week. Stay safe and stay healthy, and hopefully you'll get some crafting in this week. And I'll see you soon. Thank you for coming. Bye-bye.